And hello, everyone. Welcome to Developer Drop-In. My name is Nahrin, and I'm a developer educator at Vonage. I'm joined by my wonderful colleague, Dwane, who is our JavaScript developer advocate. And we are so excited to be your host today for Developer Drop-In, which will be all about Vonage's Video API. If you're new to this stream, Developer Drop-In airs bi-weekly on Wednesdays and is a chance for developers to get their questions answered live on stream and meet the people who build the libraries and sample apps that they know and love. This stream is normally hosted by our brilliant colleague, Lorna, who will be back next episode. But in the meantime, we hope you'll enjoy hanging out with us, and we're looking forward to addressing any questions you may have. So feel free to pop those or any comments in chat. We love having you all join in on the conversation too. All right, let's kick things off. Happy Wednesday, Dwane. How are things?
I can't believe it's Wednesday. It seems to be, this year has gone by so quick and so slowly at the same time. It's mind-boggling. So shout out to Lolo Coding and Greg in the chat room.
And Kevin as well, and Michael, I see.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel that. Like, I don't understand how it's already November, and it's already almost mid-November, which is insane because we were just wrapping up Hacktoberfest, it feels like, yesterday. We had an awesome group stream, so.
Nice. Oh, and yeah, so I don't know if people are familiar with like Doctor Who, and so like the inside my van is kind of like the what is the name of his phone booth? Oh, I can't believe the TARDIS. So it's kind of, it's bigger on the inside than on the outside. So that's how my van is working. So, but I'm actually not in my van right now. We have a tropical storm that's happening, I guess. And so, because it's Florida, I mean, it's like any day that ends in a Y, there's a tropical storm. And we've had so many that they're going into the Greek letters now. Because normally it's just like names.
Right. It's just
we've had so many that they ran out of names. And so they're going into, so we're on ETA now. So I think we went through alpha, beta, gamma, and yeah, so 2020. Great times.
Well, at least you're keeping safe inside, and it looks like you're keeping nice and dry. So here's hoping things get better. We actually in Toronto are going through a heat wave right now in November, which is unheard of. At this point, we're usually buried in snow, and yet it's like 23 degrees today or something. So yeah, wow. Opposite.
Yeah, wow, that's 2020. It's unpredictable. Yeah, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Try and be as symmetrical as possible because there's these two lamps, so I want to be as symmetrical as possible. So yeah, so cool. So how's everything going in the Great White North?
Things are going pretty okay, other than our usual COVID stuff. But it's almost the holidays, so there's that. We're hoping to get away for like a cottage weekend up north, so be somewhere really remote and have like snow and skiing and all that going on. So yeah, there's that. We actually just had ViewCon Toronto, which I believe you attended, right? You were kind of taking part in it and representing Vonage.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I always enjoy going to different meetups and conferences and being able to speak with people and stuff and kind of seeing what other people are working on and building and discussing with them. Like, it's a great time. I always appreciate it, And so ViewCon Toronto was pretty awesome and got to see, like I said, a lot of really cool speakers, and some people came by the virtual table. It's different because it's like the virtual table now, and it's it's cool, I guess.
Yeah,
I'd rather be there.
The video option there, because then you can kind of still have all those face-to-face interactions and actually be able to communicate better than on a chat. So there's that. But yeah, this one's really great because I know the creator Evan Yu, he's from Toronto, so he always makes an appearance, right? I think he did a talk for ViewCon this year.
Yeah, I think he goes to pretty much all of the different big ViewCons because he was also at the one that was in Austin, Texas. So yeah, so he normally does the opening, and he talks about what's the newness, the new hotness that's coming with Vue and things. So this one was about Vite and about how everything is going to be so much faster and smaller, and so cool stuff coming down the pipeline in the Vue world. So
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we've been releasing some tutorials on Vue. So look out for more Vue content on our developer blog as well.
Yeah, I just did one with web components. So I have this series. I'm big on web components because, you know, the web will always win. And yeah, so I've been creating. So I created, it's like a whole series. And so we create a web component.
Mhm.
Shouts to OpenWC. So using like their guides and everything, built that. And now I'm showing how to use the same web component in different frameworks and libraries with different like uses. So did like a React Rolodex. So that was pretty cool. So you can actually, through the Vonage APIs, you can actually make a phone call through the voice API, make a phone call through the browser using, we built a keypad component. So it has like all the different numbers. So you're able to do that.
On that. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the Vue one was, like this. So we also have at Vonage the Verify API. So it's kind of like two-factor authentication. And so one thing about Vue that I noticed is that they try to fit in the word Vue into like everywhere that they can. So we have the Verify, and I was like, oh, there's only like one letter missing. So called it the Verify. So basically using Vue and the Verify API. So the keypad now becomes, you can enter in your phone number. It sends you the code through your phone, and then use the same keypad to enter in the actual code that it sends you, and it lets you in or doesn't, depending on if you got it right or not.
Super cool. I'm gonna have to find that blog and link it in chat as well. But yeah,
all my blogs. So again, I create mad random things, and so okay, let me. So I have all these different random websites. I don't think I'm logged in. Damn, that's right. But yeah, Dwane, my name, .in/Vonage. And that takes you directly to all the different blog posts. I should probably sign in, but I'm not signed
there, I just posted it in chat. Oh, hey, Sadupto. Good to see you again.
Hey, everyone. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, the TARDIS. I did get it, but yeah, the TARDIS. Time and relative displacement in space or something like that. What happened to, I'm just hoping for new episodes. I don't know. That's one of the things I've been looking forward to, more Doctor Who stuff.
You know, it's been on my list for ages. That and The Matrix, I still haven't watched, and it's been on my list of things to watch. For
wait, you haven't seen The Matrix?
Yeah, and I own the DVD. How weird is that? Like, I've had it for like 10 years. Someone gave it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'll save this for like, you know, Halloween or something, because it's supposed to be like suspenseful or
so wait, like any Matrix? Like, so you haven't seen, there's like 20 matrices. I guess it's matrices. More than one Matrix movie would be matrices, right? So yeah, so you haven't seen any of them?
I haven't seen any of them. I know all the pop culture references because, you know, memes. But yeah, it's disappointing.
Wow, so we should probably just stop this whole thing, and so you just go ahead and watch it, because
that's what Michael suggests. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh boy, shameful.
Or we could probably, I don't know how Twitch is with its like content capturing stuff. So maybe you could probably just watch it here.
I think so. I think people actually do that on Twitch, right? You it's like that browser extension. I think it's called Rabbit. Do you remember that? It was like a big thing a couple years ago where people like had one Netflix screen playing, and then all their friends would kind of join in, and you could see like real-time reactions and stuff.
Oh, like watch parties, I guess, or something. I think they're doing that officially now or something, right?
I don't even know. I know people were doing that at the beginning of quarantine as well, and I was like, yeah, it's a no for me.
Yeah, well, they're like, nope.
Michael says, Kevin, can you call yourself a nerd if you haven't seen Star Wars or The Rings and more? I mean, I haven't seen Star Wars either. And every time I'm reminded of that How I Met Your Mother reference where Ted's like, is it Ted or Marshall? Someone was like, oh, only people who haven't lived the Star Wars haven't seen Star Wars, and that's because they've lived them, or something like that.
I don't think I've ever seen How I Met Your Mother. I've probably seen like half an episode or something. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, well, that should be on your list. Those are pretty good too.
Okay. And like, what's another one? Friends, I think people watch a lot. Oh,
You haven't seen Friends?
Probably saw like half an episode again. I don't.
Oh, goodness. I've seen the entire series like a solid dozen times.
Oh, wow.
I watch
Okay.
it during meals, you know, like they're only like 16 or 20-minute episodes. So it's like you've got a little bit of break from work, you pop on an episode of Friends and you watch, you eat up. Oh, Kevin, what are you doing with your life? Oh, I've seen it all 3 times, not worth it. Okay, well, fine.
It was like, I want my time back from watching that.
I still enjoy it, but there's better television out right now, probably.
Oh, hey, shouts to Sudeepo.
Sudeepo, yeah.
For posting the link. Appreciate you. Thank you.
He also couldn't continue with Friends past an episode. Okay, well, are y'all just suggesting I have bad taste, maybe?
I'm not saying it. I'm just, based on past actions and, watching habits. I mean, I'm not going to say anything.
Grand. I don't know if you can hear my cat right now. He's being very needy.
Oh, no, yeah, he's having a good time. Yeah, I can hear him. He's the star of the show.
He definitely is. Can't move him away.
What's his name?
His name is Zaid, but he goes by Monsty. So
his friends know him as Monsty?
Yeah, because as a little kitten here can make an appearance. He was just one of those cats that would like just be an absolute terror and like jump on you when you're sleeping, or like if you have like a book on the table or whatnot, he would like push it off, and like he was just always a bit of a monster. So it turned into Monsty from Monster, and yeah, he never responds to Zaid. So
nice.
Cat on. That is right. Oh boy. Kevin's doggo as well. Yeah, Kevin's dog always makes an appearance. Kevin's dog Moo, always adorable.
Yeah, we're pet friendly here at Vonage. So
very, yeah. I haven't brought my chickens on stream yet. I should probably.
So that's right. So yeah, you have chickens, and so does I don't know if she wants me to say it. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, backyard chickens. It's a thing now. I feel like I see it more in like tech communities than any other.
Probably like the most non-tech thing that you could do is like raise chickens. But I guess everybody needs like a release from that tech world.
I don't know. I've always really been into like permaculture methods and like sustainable living and stuff like that. So like I'm hoping to move off grid maybe and kind of do that. And I see that a lot in tech communities, like especially on Twitter. Like people are always posting like this new ranch that they bought, or also in Hollywood. Like I see a lot of celebrities like looking after donkeys in their free time and stuff. So yeah.
Well, when you have more money than you know what to do with, yeah, I guess you can do those things. So
maybe. Okay, well, we have a lot we want to cover today on the video API. So should we get started and maybe see how far we get?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
All right, terrific. So I have some experience building with this API, but I know you have several really, really cool side projects you built using it that we'll share in a bit. For those of you watching that are new to video, we've actually got some pretty in-depth documentation on it that provides a great overview on how it all works, info on how to use the SDKs, both client and server, tutorials and sample apps as a starting point for you, developer tools, really great developer tools, and also a couple beta programs that allow you to test out pre-release features and influence the future of the platform by sending in your feedback. So it's awesome, safe to say, and I can actually say that because I had no part in building it. So it's not pretentious of me or anything, but let's take a little tour and then we'll get started on some code.
And it's a good thing Michael's in the actual, because he's our video developer kit. So, and he's been doing some cool things that we'll talk about. People doing cool things with video also later on. So, but Michael's been doing some cool things as well.
That is right. Michael actually just streamed. I want to say a day ago.
Yep.
Mistakes were made with the video API too. So we're having a video API week over at Vonage.
I think my internet is messing up.
I think it's probably mine as well. So we'll see how things go.
I'm out in the sticks, so middle of nowhere. So surprised the electricity out here. Right.
Although a lot of the cottages and stuff I've been to this summer, which are in the middle of nowhere, they have like fiber internet.
Oh wow!
Like the best, yeah. So crazy. I guess if you have money, you can kind of pay for these things and bring them in.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of these tech people in their farms probably have like the super fast internet.
Yep. So Dipta says, I haven't yet started playing with the video API. I have been fiddling with voice, SMS, and messages. Will do after uni exams.
Hey, good luck with your exams. Nice.
Yeah, good luck with that, and let us know what you think of it all. And if you build anything, like, do share it with us. We'd love to see what you make. And yeah,
and the video API is pretty basic. Like, I just shout out to the whole engineering team, the way they kind of like abstracted the difficulties of video. Because I've tried to do it, just straight web RTC and trying to set up the turn servers and the stun servers and all these things. So yeah, I always have to give like props to the whole engineering team just to make it. They made it so much easier than if you were to do it on your own. So,
absolutely. And actually, it was formerly known as TalkBox OpenTalk. So if you're familiar with that product, until we acquired TalkBox, it was called that. So you might already be familiar with working with the tech too. But yeah, it's the Vonage Video API makes it really easy to, it helps you embed high quality interactive video, voice, messaging, and screen sharing into web and mobile apps. And you do have the option of using a video chat embed. If you're not looking to build anything super custom, we do have these great embeds here that you can use and get going with pretty much instantly. So here's an overview on that. You can get started. You can share this embed and test it out with a friend. So we do have that as an option if you aren't looking to build anything custom or anything robust. But yeah, in terms of the documentation and what resources we have for you, we do have these really great tutorials and developer guides and sample apps that we'll be going into in a second, playing with some code. We do have all of our client SDKs and server SDKs here, so you can look into that. And then we also have really great developer tools. So we've got this inspector where you can actually inspect sessions that you've used. So if we go into one of these, this is from this morning. It fetches all of your session data for you. It's got really great stats, user data, an error log if you want to check out and debug anything that went wrong, quality metrics. So I think these are really, really helpful. And it's great to know that they exist here. And then we also, I can get back. We also have this really great playground for those of you that aren't looking to build something right away, but want to actually experiment with the platform. So you can create a new session here, and you don't even need an API key to get started. You can just hit no, and then it'll give you some default stuff here. The token expiration time goes anywhere from 30 minutes to 30 days. So you can actually play around with this playground for quite a while. You can hit create. And then it actually just opens up everything here for you. You can get a shareable link, again, to share it out with a friend or on another computer, so you can see the two screens and how they're functioning. And then you can hit publish stream. You also do have all these options that you would normally do with code that you can actually just toggle on and off. So we've got all of our audio source options. So you can pick which video you want to use as well, styles, mirrors, like everything that you would want to actually kind of play around with before you commit to something we've got here for you. So that's how that works. And then let's go through the API basics really quick, because I feel like it's probably good information to kind of know, at least on a general level. The basics are right there. So yes, how the platform works. Have you seen all these graphics before, Dwayne?
Oh yeah, they're pretty awesome, and they like move and show you, like, yeah, it's kind of amazing. It's
so cool. I want to recreate something like this for blog posts, but it just feels like a lot of extra work, but really, really helpful to have for sure when you're explaining things. So every Vonage Video API video chat occurs within a session. And the session is essentially a room where, clients interact with each other. So you have 1, 2, multiple people in that one session. And because every session is given a session ID, you can actually connect to the same session. So that's how you have multiple people signing into the same video session. And in terms of the steps, there are really 5 steps in how this all works. So step 1 is the session is created by your app server here. Step 2 is a client loads the app and the server creates a token as demonstrated here. I love these, so cool. And then step 3, the client connects and begins streaming to the session. Step 4 is a new client connects to the session. And then step 5, the last one, is where the clients subscribe to each other's streams, and then you've got that functioning video chat going. So that's how it works. We do have a lot of details on how it's actually all working if you want to read into this later on. Again, it's just available in the developer documentation under Video API Basics. But why not we actually get started with some code now and look at some sample apps that we can build with all this. And I'll stop sharing, Dwane, if you want to pull up your examples.
Yeah, so I just did, I'm a big fan of like Glitch and a bunch of different other like online editors where you can just spin up a project real quick. And so this is just, they're like, all I did was just create a new Express app. And so as you can see, it's the basic one that just comes with it. And so I guess we'll start off in the index.html. And so like Nahrin was saying is in order to be able to connect your video to our OpenTalk, you'll need like an API key, the session ID, which is kind of like the chat room that you're in. So it's the conversation that you're having there. So like the session, and then the token, which lets you join the session. And so all these things are created that you normally get from the server. So I'm doing this so that, because some of our examples, they say you can hard code them in or what have you, but normally you want to get it from the server. So that's kind of like what we're doing here. This is kind of like another way of getting it from the server. So some of our examples will say just hard code and paste them in here, but I'm going to kind of show how to do it from the server a little bit. So it's a little bit, closer to what you want to do. All right. So then what's cool is now there's 2 different kinds of, I guess, video feeds going in. So you have the publisher. So that's you sending the feed to OpenTalk for everybody else to check out. And then there are the Can you see this? Maybe I should make this bigger or.
Yeah, that feels good.
All right, cool. And so the publisher, so this is where your feed will show up. So just remember ID publisher. You can name it anything, but I'll show you where you would change it if you needed to change that. And field set. Have you seen field sets? Probably like one of my favorite HTML tags.
I kind of used that before.
It's kind of awesome. We'll see that in the actual HTML the project application. And then so what I have here is just so we have the header, and then we have the main section. And inside of there, I have 2 sections. And so one is for your feed going out, and then the other one's for the subscribers. So anyone else in the session coming back. Cool. So that is pretty much it there as far as we're going to have. Great. Then let's go over to the server. And so again, it's just a basic Express server. Came right out of the box from Glitch, so nothing too huge there. I installed the OpenTalk, or now known as the Vonage Video API. So you can see the dependencies here in the package JSON. So all we have is just Express, OpenTalk, and EJS, which is extended JavaScript, something like that. I don't remember. And basically what this is for templating. So this will allow me to be able to, through our Express, send the different keys, like the API key, the token, and the session ID. So yeah. All right, cool. So back to the server.
Oh, so this actually has a question.
Oh, yes.
So with multiple sessions, we could have different video channels with different participants.
Oh, yes. So in one of the demos we'll show, you would be able to have like different sessions going on at the same time. So yeah. So each session is its own session. It's got to be another like better way, like its own, like, because session is such a good word because it's a session.
Like its own room, right?
Yeah, room. It's kind of like its own room, exactly. And you need the token, which is kind of like the key or the passcode to get into that room.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, all right. So now we're just setting up our Express app and getting a reference to OpenTalk, now known as Vonage Video API. That's going to be coming soon. And then, so now, so we're setting up the Express app right here. And then here we're saying, all right, for the engine that runs the template rendering, we're going to use the HTML. So it's an HTML file, and we're going to require the EJS. And that's going to use to render the file, the HTML that comes out. And we'll see why that's important a little bit later. So right here, this is the things that we want to do on the server. So like I said, we don't want our API key or API secrets really out there.
Mm-hmm.
So these are process .env files that I have here, which I'm not going to show you because that would just ruin the whole reason for having them in there. And so we're just getting them from the .env files, which is right here. Cool. And then I'm just setting this app session because, again, this is the session for the chat, for the room that we're going to be setting up.
Mm-hmm.
And now, so what we want to do is, so the way this is working, and you'll probably want to change this as well, because the way this app works is that once the server starts, it's going to create the token. It's going to create the session. So it's going to be like one session once the server starts. And anybody that connects to the app is going to be in that session. So what you may want to do in an actual real app, if you want separate sessions, is that maybe somebody logs in or enters in a room ID, and then that will go and goes to a database where it has all the different sessions for the different rooms. And so that way, when you join a specific room, it pulls that session, then creates the token so that you can join it. But for this one, we're going to try to keep it as basic as possible. Anybody that goes to the application is a part of the global session that's happening. All right. So what we're doing here is we're checking to make sure that we have an API key and API secret, because otherwise you can't do much of anything else. So it'll say give you an error and then exit. Now that we do have them, so that's going to go through. And then what we want to do is initialize OpenTalk. And I just want to say, Michael, if I'm doing anything wrong, just please let me know. Just want to make sure, because you are the expert in this. I'm just kind of this playing expert now. All right, so now we're going to, so like I said, we're going to initialize OpenTalk. And with that, we need the API key and secret. So we're going to do a new OpenTalk, pass in those variables. Great. Then we want to create a session, like I said, and then store it in the Express app. So in Express, you can actually just do this set, and it will set it in, I guess, like the memory of the Express app.
Mm-hmm.
And then we give it the name that we want. So what we're doing is, just like in the when Nahrin was saying about being able to create the session, we have the options of doing like either routed or relay. And routed goes through the OpenTalk servers, so you can do there's a lot more you can do through routed. But relay will try to do like a peer-to-peer thing, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So a lot of times you just want to do routed.
I think routed is a default too, right?
Yeah, I believe so, because it's just it's more, I guess, stable and will more likely work, because that's one of the things with trying to do it yourself, because sometimes might be somebody maybe behind a firewall, so then you have to go around the firewall and do the other things. Whereas with this, you just go, everybody goes to the OpenTalk or the Vonage Video API servers, and then from there you're able to connect. Alrighty, so what we're doing is, so if we get an error back from that, we'll throw an error, but most likely not, because, code is, we write perfect code here. Like Michael will be able to tell you that. And so we're going to set it, we're going to call it session ID, and we're going to set the actual session ID that comes back from the callback. And then we're going to set that same app session so that it's available to other parts of the code. Cool. And then, so we're going to wait for this to happen before we actually start the server, because we want to make sure that we have everything we need before we go ahead and start the server. So we're starting the server here, and it's just the same basic. You're listening on the port. It was probably like 3000, whatever I set in the .env file, and just a console log to let you know that it's working. Cool. And that should show you, let me see here, logs. And so you can see it says your app is listening on port 3000. Great. So now that we know it's running, and then we have everything that we need. So what happens is we're going to use this app.use express static. That says, hey, all the static files are in our public folder, which is here. So anything you see there, look into the public folder. And then we only have one route. So we're just going to do a get. We're not doing any posts or anything. Like, you can do posts for more things coming up. Like, you can do, like, let's say if you wanted to, we'll talk about that in another project that I've been working on, because this is just the basics right now. And yeah, so we're going to hit the, anybody that goes to the home route, we're going to send in the request response. And then here again, so we set the session ID before, but now we're going to get it. Mm-hmm. So when everybody gets that, and then from that, we're going to generate a token that allows the person to be able to join the room, the session. And then here's the whole thing with the EJS. We're going to, in the response back to the browser, we're going to render from here, which is, so we're going to the views, this index.html, and then we're going to add in, we're going to send along with that response, the API key, session ID, and token. So instead of actually going through and hard coding them into the index.html, we're just going to send them through here. And then that's that. And then, so yeah, so that goes to here. So when you go, it's going to fill in these things here. Cool. Are we good?
Michael actually has a couple comments here. So some extra information on relayed versus routed. So use a relayed instead of a routed session if you have only 2 participants or maybe even 3 and you are not using archiving. Relayed sessions reduce the latency between participants, reduce the points of failure, and you can get better quality video and audio in most cases. That's really interesting.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a peer-to-peer, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it's just you're sending right back and forth, which is
that's right.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks for
sharing. And that's why it's later. But then if you want to do anything on top of, if I'm not mistaken, like if you want to like broadcast, which is another cool thing we'll talk about later, because I use that in an upcoming project, side project, where you can actually take the video. It's cool that, you know, we're chatting back and forth, but it'd be even better if you're able to take that and broadcast it so other people can see it. Kind of like how everybody's kind of like watching us. And so with the Vonage Video API, it's pretty, it's not bad to be able to do all that. So it's, I don't want to say easy, because, you know, everybody has different levels of what's easy, but it's straightforward pretty much. So if you can, the documentation is great. Follow along with the documentation. You'll be broadcasting and doing a lot of cool things. And
of course. Yeah. And if you have any questions throughout the process, we're always available to help you out. The Vonage Developer Relations team can join our Slack channel and just pop in your question there, and someone from the team will help you out. So Slack, Twitter, wherever you can get a hold of us, please do, and we'll help you with your project and whatever you have difficulty with.
Yep. And then as far as, let's, I guess, look at the styling real quick. So just the body, footer, and then here's the main section. I'm doing a display flex because I just wanted them side by side, having them start at the top, and then they're like evenly spaced in their sections. And then symmetrical, yes, exactly. Because I'm trying, yeah, I'm doing a bad job at that. I'm gonna have a new show, Between Two Lamps, and so that's gonna, I think that's gonna be a big thing.
Or isn't there a show?
Yeah, Between Two Ferns.
Ferns, yes. Yeah. I noticed that our colleague Jay Patel actually does this too. He has a couch in the background and he has like 2 orange cushions, and he's always like perfectly in between the 2 cushions. Have you noticed that?
No, I have not. Well, I'm trying to get on his level, and I have like these 2 little things here also. Like I'm in a spare bedroom, so yeah. All right, the joys of streaming from home.
Flexbox for the win.
Wait, what are we doing?
Oh no, so you just had a comment saying Flexbox for the win. So.
Like Flexbox and Grid. If I just need to do like an overall just kind of thing, I'll do like a Flexbox because I'm like I just need to think side by side. Flexbox.
Yeah.
But if I want to be a little bit more intricate with I use Grid, and so I think they said like Flexbox is better for like a one-dimensional that's kind of like setting up, whereas with Grid it's like you can place things in like 2 dimensions. Like it's again the web always wins. It's an amazing place. So yeah. All right, cool.
Have you played the Flexbox Froggy game? Just as an aside. This is actually how I learned Flexbox ages ago. Because this is what they used in boot camp I was doing. So I just posted it in chat. It's like this Flexbox Froggy game, and you kind of like play around with the different like properties you can use, and it teaches you how to use it. So
nice. Yeah. And then there's another one. I don't know if from the same people, but there's one with CSS Grid, and it's like a garden where you have to, I guess, select the right area to grow the carrots or what have you and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's amazing. Again, the web always wins. If you want to like, the world's knowledge is out there, and you can pretty much. It's amazing. It's an amazing place, and scary, but it's amazing. All right, and so now right here, I'm placing a size like limitation on the publisher element, which was right here. And we'll see why, because there's a reason why I'm doing that. So you can kind of see, because we have different options and things that you can pass into your OpenTalk publishing. So, all right. So that's all pretty much that is the actual CSS. Now let's get into the JavaScript. It's like less than like 50 lines. And I'm using generous spacing here to be able to make it work. And so here, sometimes you may have to put like a global OT or API key session token, because depending on what you're using, it may not actually pull in those things. It might give you an error. So like we're loading the OpenTalk here, and just so that the OT, which is exported from the OpenTalk, is available in my, because Glitch was giving me errors like, I don't know what this is. And so you just have to set these things up. It's like variables. Right. You're saying, hey, look at the global. There's these things there, and use them for these things here. Pretty much that's all that's saying. And then, so from Glitch, there's the console log hello world, just let you know it's working. And then setting up like a general function just to kind of handle all the errors, if there's any errors. Again, there will be no errors because, we write perfect code here. And so, shouts to Michael.
They're never made.
Never, yeah. It's not like we have a show called Mistakes Were Made, So yeah. So that's just what this function is doing. So send an error. If there's an error, we're going to send the alert message. Pretty much it. All right. I'm thinking I probably don't even need this if alert, because you wouldn't call this unless there was an error. Neither here nor there. All right. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to initialize an OpenTalk session. So once you load the page, we're going to go set a session constant, and then we're going to initialize the session. And then again, we need the API key and the session ID, which was sent back from the server. And here, so we're going to initialize the publisher. So with the publisher and with the subscriber, you can send different options inside of it. And so you have the insert mode. And so what this is going to do is it's going to, like if we had multiple publishers, which I don't think can actually happen unless maybe you're doing screen share, right, Michael? Like the only other time you'd have maybe another publisher is if you're doing screen share. But what this does, it appends it. So if you have another video source coming in, it'll just add it to that section. Instead of, because I think the other one is like replace. It's in the documentation. So you can either like replace it or you can add on to it. Cool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same OpenTalk. We're going to init publisher. And here is the ID of the element that you want to insert that video where you want to put that. So again, we have that here. And so, and then we're going to pass in also the publisher options. And so I'm setting it at 100% and 100%. And I can do that because remember I set the in the CSS the size to be 360 by 240. I don't want any bigger than that or anything. But if you want it to be bigger, this will take up the full space. So in your CSS, you can make it whatever you want, and this will actually fill in that space.
That's right. And on publishers, Michael actually says you can totally have more publishers, but it's not normal. Usually it's just a cam and maybe a screen share. So you're right.
Cool. All right. And then, so yeah, and then if there's any errors, we know where to go because we have that here. Cool. So Monsi agrees, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Being very vocal about that.
He's very passionate.
He is. Yes, he's a chatty one. So Sidipta says, yet again, Vonage APIs equals better developer experience. Great things get built under 100 lines of server.js.
Yes, exactly. Like, we want to be as clean as possible because a lot of times, like, you don't need our stuff because, like, I know my code I write normally. There's a lot of stuff all over the place anyway. So being able to, know that, all right, this one section here is just clean because I'm gonna mess it up anyway. And so it's good to be able to have everything a little bit more organized and everything.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. So yes. So now, all right. So we're gonna set some event handlers. And so with the session that we just created here, we can listen for certain events that happen. So when we're connected to the session, we're going to publish the publisher, yes, that we set up here. So once we're connected, then we're going to start streaming our stuff to OpenTalk or Vonage Video API.
Right.
So that's what this is saying. And then when a stream is created, so for example, someone else jumps into the room, then they're a subscriber. So that's a new stream created. And so what's going to happen is we have our, just like with our publisher, we have options because we're all about options here. And so we're going to insert append it. So everybody that joins is going to be added instead of like replaced. So everybody's going to be added. The width and the height we're setting here because again, you could do the 100%, but as long as in your CSS, you can set it to wherever you want. I think some of our examples have it to where the person who subscribes is like huge in the background, and then you're in the front corner. So you can do that. All right, so there's that. And then so before we were publishing, now we're going to subscribe to the session. And so the event is the stream on the event that we're going to use to create the video for our, to show up in our subscribers. And again, we're saying the ID of the place where we want the element to show up into. So subscribers, again, which was right here. So as long as those match, you can name it whatever you want, as long as they match when you're publishing and subscribing. But, we want to try to make it less complicated so that you don't have to remember, oh, wait, which one was it again? So yeah, so the subscribers, we're passing in the options. And if there's any errors, which there won't be, then we have that worked out. Cool. And then it all goes into, we connect to the session with our token. So this actually kind of happens first, like, because none of these will happen because you're not connected yet. So once you connect with the token, then you're able to listen for these things. And yeah, so that's that. And again, it's like less than 50 lines of code. And so, all right, so now let's see what that actually looks like. I'm going to show the app. And let me show you the awesomeness of field set. This right here is created just by the field set. Isn't that cool? Like, you don't have to do anything else. Like, just having this thing here and the line around it, that is just the field set. Kind of amazing. And so I'm going to send this to you, Nahrin, so that you can join in the chat. So yeah, so what happened is I'm connected to the Vonage Video API servers, and I'm publishing there. There we go. And then Nahrin is also publishing on her end, but on my end, the session, the stream created function was launched when she connected. And so she's there now. And yeah, that's it.
Amazing. So again, less than, how many lines of code was it in total?
Probably like less than 100, maybe. I get pretty verbose. Like you could really make these a lot shorter, but yeah.
Exactly. But all that just to, put this on here, and like I'd say that's pretty good, because normally this would take a lot more for sure. So
yeah, because we don't want having to set up the video be like a hindrance, because we know your application is going to be doing other things. So we don't want it to be like something difficult that you have to go and try fiddle with and everything. So we want to make it, and like you said earlier, we had like the chat embed. So you didn't even have to go through all this. You could just put it in a chat embed if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you just want like a basic video on there, like you can get up and running basically instantly. Or if you want something more custom, like you've been doing with your side projects, like this is the way to go. But again, either way, like you're not investing too much time. It's not a lot in terms of developer resources. So definitely really quick to get up and running. If
and the latency is like really good, because I'm watching you here on this here, and it's like the same. So that's amazing. Again, like kudos to the whole Vonage Video API team. It's pretty amazing. All right, so yeah, cool. So hey, look at this.
Oh hey, Marco Dev.
Nice reviewing video. So yeah, so you see he added himself. It was appended. If you did like replace, it would then replace Nahrin. So nice. Cool.
Right.
Awesome.
Oh, hey, Shoutout.
Nice. All right. So yeah, so there's that. So thanks everybody for playing along. And if you want just this basic one, you're able to remix it also if you want to on Glitch. And
we'll post the link to that as well.
Yeah, but I'm gonna stop now, because once you post that link, who knows what's gonna be showing up. So yeah, there we go.
True.
All right, because even though the web is a wonderful place, it is also a strange place.
Definitely.
All right, cool. So now we've got that going. Great. So from that, I went to a coding boot camp, just kind of like going back. Went to a coding boot camp back in the day. I've always been kind of coding because it's something I always like to do. But I was like, I wonder if I could turn this hobby into a career. So I was like, because you don't know what you don't know. So I went to a boot camp, and boot camp was great. Went there. And then afterwards, I was like, I want to build more projects. And this is probably like 3-4 years ago. And so we were learning React, and I'm big on puns. And so one day, I don't remember why, I was like, oh, tic-tac-toe, tick react-toe. And I was like, I'll just build a project using React to make a tic-tac-toe game. But not like a game where you have to have both people next to each other to play. I wanted to have something where I could just send a link to someone, we join the game and play. And so I did that. And I think that's when I was trying to do the whole WebRTC by myself, and that didn't go great. And because it would always break. And I was using this library, but the library got out of date or something, and it stopped working. And it was a horrible mess. So I was like, oh, hey, let me try and do this again. Because with the Vonage Video API and our Conversations API. So cool. So I created a thing.
Like, you showed it off. I actually love this game. Like you showed it off. I think it was back in, I want to say like March or June, which is when you first started like actually showing it off, right? Is that right?
Maybe. I have a horrible memory, so that's why I always look into documentation. So yeah.
So yeah, you shared it early on, and then since then you've actually like made it into something like really polished, and it's a really, really cool example of what the video API can do. So I love this. I'm actually going to hop on here with you so we can demonstrate. Yeah.
So we already have a preset game, so we're going to go to that. But for right now, I just want to kind of show the setup of it. All right. So take React-To again, big on puns. So this here, I'm big into web components as well. So I kind of wanted to be able to create something that in my random projects, I would be able to show like what it's about, what it was built with, like any updates, and if you want more information. And I didn't want to have to keep doing that over and over again for different frameworks and libraries and stuff. So I created a web component. And I think this is called like Dwane-Made or whatever. And so with that, all my different projects, I have like a section there where it kind of, and it in the web component, I can call an API that fills in this information. So it's always custom to that. So instead of having to recreate it every time, I just have this here. Cool.
Aren't they great? Aren't components the best?
they're so amazing. Like and that's why I'm writing these blog posts about them, because they're so versatile and awesome. Like, so this is like a React application, and I just threw in this web component, and then we'll see later on. I've been playing around with Svelte and Sapper. My other project is built using that, and I just threw in the web component. Oh, you know what? While we're talking about random side projects, so I have this other one, hiphoptimer.com. It's kind of like a Pomodoro kind of thing. And but also here, I think I did this with Stencil, pretty sure, yeah. So there's like a bunch of web components, but then, whoops, wrong thing. Oh, I got too excited. But yeah, so there you go. Again, same web component, different information. I didn't have to do anything. I just put it in there. It's amazing. So, but yeah, if you're interested in, it's a lot of cool hip hop stuff, and there's like a clock and things. So
definitely check that out. And you actually have a radio show too, right?
Yeah, but we don't need to talk about that. That's fine. And but this is also a web component here, this player here. And so cool. Yeah, hiphoptimer.com. All right, so back to tickreacto.com. All right, so so then you start off, and it's going to ask you, what's your name.
And I've actually joined, so you'll see me there already.
Well, no. So this is going to create a new one. We're going to join the one we had before because we don't want people randomly jumping in that one. But we're So what happens is, it's just kind of like a little setup. So it's like, hey, I try to make it as like friendly, I guess, as possible.
Yeah, friendly, interactive,
and so it creates the new game. And then so what I can do is I hooked up to Bitly, the API, so because it's a super long URL. So just to make it a little bit easier, I did that. So you can copy that, send it to a friend, or using our SMS API, you can actually put in their phone number, send it, and it's like, hey, so-and-so would like to join a game of tic-tac-toe or whatever, and you can go to the game.
Right. And
cool.
This example is really great. This game's really great because it not only uses the video API, it uses the SMS and conversation. So really got a good mix of what Vonage Communications can really do here. Yeah,
I try to create as much stuff as possible. So now you'll see, because I'm going to go into a game that we had previously.
I mean, our chat can see that link, so you might see some other people on here too.
It'll probably break because I have it to where we replace. Neither here nor there. So since we had the game already, I'm going to re-enter it. And so it comes back to the game that we had before. And are you there?
I am almost there.
Oh, okay. So this is the game we had previously.
Perfect.
Cool. Wait, can you? I can't see you. Can you see me?
I can't see you either. I think I'm on.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Nice. Woo! I was like, oh man, don't tell me. Don't tell me it broke. All right, so now it's your turn. So go ahead and so this is what we were playing before the stream happened.
Hey, this reminds me of this show that I was watching, The Queen's Gambit on Netflix, where everything's like very thought out, and she's like this chess genius, and it's a lot of pressure here because I wish I was that good.
Oh no, it's fine. So let's just say, all right. So then, what's going to happen is, and then I think it might take a while, but did it say that you won on your end? I think there's like a glitch. Let's try a whole new game.
Try again.
All right. So now what's happening is we're using the conversation API because the conversation API makes it pretty not difficult because we handle all this stuff in the back end to be able to send information between two different clients. So you don't have to worry about all that stuff because it's a lot. And so what's happening is that as Nahrin makes a turn, it's sending a custom event to Vonage through our conversation that we're having here, because it's not just text messages, it's anything that you want to send through custom events. And so it's sending the position that Nahrin put on the board. And then my client is like, okay, I know what to do with that, is listening for it and knows where to put it on the board. And we're just going back and forth. And so it's sending back and forth the information on who's doing what where. And then I was trying to set up to you just to win. Just go ahead and win.
I won one already, but
there. So you can see now what's happening is that on the client, because I don't want to send back, the client determines if a person has won yet. So all that is happening on the clients. I figured that would be a lot quicker to be able to do that, just to be able to go through that way. And then once it determines that somebody has won, then it sends another custom event saying that the person has won to everyone else connected. And it's like, oh, okay, there you go. All right, cool. So that worked, I guess. And then if you ever want to create a new game, and which is a new conversation, you just click that and it starts again. And yeah, so there's that. So I don't know, anybody had any questions about that?
Yeah, let me post the link in chat as well. So if anyone wants to test it out, and I think Siddip says he wants to fork it and maybe play around with it. So that's really cool.
Oh yeah, like I said, this is an old project, so I was using like old React. And then when I went back and I was having so much issues with React because I guess it's been that long that me just trying to even build it again was a problem. So I wanted to try and make it better, but it was bad. Like different libraries are failing. Like it was bad. So luckily, like we were showing before, being able to add video and conversation was not difficult. You know what I'm saying? That was like the least difficult thing for it. Because like I said, the framework and everything, like the library was just, I don't know what happened, but it just didn't want to like work again. So I just I had like slip in the video and the conversation in different parts that were working. And yeah. Yeah, see, yeah, like saying relatable, some of my projects hit the EOL. Yeah, the end of life, which, I mean, again, the web is great, but with all these new things happening and things changing, sometimes going back, it's like, so that's why I'm a big fan of web components, because it's built into the web. So if I built all these things with web components, then if I would just start a new React, pop them in, and then be good to go. But, you know, I didn't know about web components back then. So, you know, yeah. And plus, I wanted to go with the whole tick React toe pun. And so, yeah, cool. So there's that.
Game on the React documentation, right? I think they have it there as like a way to kind of learn how to use a framework. So this one actually I like a lot better.
Well, yeah, that wasn't around when I created this. So I was like, because I think that one, isn't that one the person has to be like next to you, right? So it's not like you send a link to somebody.
Exactly.
So
it's not quite as advanced as this one. But
yeah, and plus now with everything being kind of like shut down, I thought it might be good to revive this and like, because you know, like maybe you want to catch up with a friend or what have you, and you know, or like a loved one that you haven't heard in a minute. And like, I mean, tic-tac-toe is pretty universal, I think. So you know, be able to kind of talk to people and you know, just catch up with folks. You know, they're like, hey, you want to play a game of tic-tac-toe? Sure, you know, and catch up. So
games are always fun to build. You know, like you're always going to get some sort of use out of them. People are going to get excited about them just because there's that interactive element to it. I was experimenting with Unity back when quarantine first started. So I'm really excited to get something out there, maybe a blog post on Unity and our video API out too.
So what do you think about, because we have like a plugin and a bunch of documentation on how to put the video into Unity, right? And isn't Unity based on like C# or C++ or something?
Sharp, yeah, that's right. Michael actually showed me those resources. I had no clue those were even like out there. So I don't know if anyone's used them in a while, but definitely looking to, you know, try them out, see what updates we need, and then kind of get that going and maybe, share that more with the community. But yeah, it's, I think the last time they were touched were a little bit ago. So we'll definitely have to update.
So what did you think about Unity and all that stuff?
You know, I actually played around with it a little bit in my first developer job a few years ago. I worked for this education IoT company. So we were building like an LMS, and then we were also building like a ton of like educational games using like characters that our illustrator was drawing and stuff too. And then it didn't seem quite as vast as it does now, because I was taking the Unity Learn courses. They've got this really great curriculum up on their website. And yeah, it seemed like it was a lot faster to get up and running the last time I was playing around with it. Maybe, you know, I've just forgotten how to work with it. But yeah,
Did you have to know? Did you have to know like C and everything, or like because I haven't really done anything with it?
Yeah, if you're going through the curriculum, you don't need to know any C# like right off the bat, because they actually do have this really great editor that you can use, and you don't really need to do too much there. But then once you're on your own and you're actually building out a custom game, you're going to need to know how to do all that. So you can get like up and running with the Unity platform within like 30 minutes. You can start building like a game.
Oh, nice.
That they have a few options that you can build. There's like a racing game. There's like there's a few options there that are really cool, and you get some really cool visual elements that you can bring in. They have components, so some really cool visual components that you can like import into your game there that you're building and do that. But then when you're actually doing something custom, like that takes a lot more work, and that's I think what I forgot was gonna be like a hefty thing to do for sure. But it's fun. It's always cool to like pick up new things. I know you said you're like experimenting with Svelte. I want to do that too.
Yeah, Svelte is pretty awesome. It's kind of amazing. Meanwhile, include graphic.h. I'm assuming that's some sort of C thing. I'm not C# thing, so yes.
Thanks indeed.
Yeah, because I'm into like VR, AR, especially like on the web. Mm-hmm. And so I saw like a lot of things were going through Unity, and I was like, oh wow, seems like a lot. So I'm just gonna go over here and forget about that for right now. And so yeah. But yeah, they're doing some there's like web AR stuff. I think they're called like web XR now. And so it's kind of like a mixture of both VR and AR. This is coming soon. So again, the web will always win.
What was the challenge that we had for the ViewCon?
Yes.
Did that have something to do with AR, right?
No, it was the Video API challenge, and it was like that's.
Oh, the prize was like an Oculus or something.
Yes, the prize was an actual Oculus Rift thing. What's this called? Oh, it's ended. Okay. Is Kevin still in there? I wonder.
No, I think Kevin's left, but I'm sure we'll like revamp this again sometime soon. We've done this a few times now, so look out.
Yeah. So what it is that it's basically kind of doing what we did, but through this challenge, and so it's pretty cool. Like you just go follow the instructions, put in some code, and then you will see kind of like it'll be yourself twice, and then you like. It gives you like a code, and then you put that to Twitter, and it's pretty awesome. And so, yeah. So if you're ever at I guess go to a conference, what have you that we're at,
a conference or something. We usually have like this or like another challenge to do with our APIs, right? But this one I thought was really fun.
Yeah, no, this was really cool. And so we had a few of them, and it's funny because some people would like post their like a screenshot, and they're like making faces at themselves, and that's pretty cool. So so we have that going on. So just follow us along. We'll let you know where we'll be at, and that's the cool thing about like now we're able to go to so many different conferences now, and so because everything has pretty much streaming now. So yeah, it is super cool. That's one good thing.
The option to attend like so many more than you did when they were all happening in person, and you couldn't actually figure out travel and accommodation and all that. Now you have the option to be, attending these conferences and learning and watching really cool talks like almost every day.
Yeah.
DigitalOcean one was yesterday, and I know there was a couple other this week too, right?
.NET I think is having one, and I think they just released it was like .NET 5.
Okay.
And I think they're really big. I'm not sure if Michael's still there, but yeah, like Michael's a big .NET fan, and I think Blazor. So have you heard of Blazor? What they're doing with that? So it's kind of like taking like C Sharp that's in .NET. I don't know, or is it C++? I don't know, whatever. Into so you write your code in that, and Blazor will compile that into like WebAssembly, so that you can put it onto the web, because again, the web will always win. And so that's pretty cool.
We actually have some great content on this on our developer blog as well, because Steve Lorello, who's on it, has been writing.
About the Blazor, that's who I've been hearing it from, because he's really big into it, and he's had some really great blog posts and examples. So check that out. And
in our chat too. and he's always putting out new content on this. So
yeah, he's our .NET developer advocate. So yeah,
there we go.
Nice.
All right. So we have one more example, and I'm really excited about this one because you just showed it to me yesterday.
Yeah, you're excited. I'm nervous because it's still kind of
No, it looks like it's functioning really well, and it's it's got a really great practical use. So I know a ton of meetups and event organizers are going to be using it really soon. So
we'll see. So all right, so I'm a big fan of meetups. I think I said before. And so I was always going to meetups, and I saw that some people couldn't attend meetups. So I was like, well, what can I do to help folks that, aren't able, because people have like families, and like one friend was like, he would be there, but he's helping his daughter with her homework. I'm like, well, that's where you should be, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so let me close out of this. And so I created this site called otech.events, right? Where people could go if they couldn't make it to the event, they'd still be able to maybe go and watch a stream of it and, get into the chat room and things. And so, so it has, so I'm basically, again, bam, look at this. So here's the same web component in a Svelte Sapper app. And so, so I'm using so of course I'm using Vonage. So for the video, because I'm using our broadcast feature in the Vonage Video API, and also like the chatting, so between the host and the guest, the presenters. And then I'm also I'm using Meetup to pull all the information from the different details, because I didn't want them to have to put in their information for their Meetup somewhere else.
Exactly. So, you have really great components on that. I noticed yesterday, like you have the Meetup details coming in, and you have a ton of so which tab was it? Can't really see your screen.
I don't know if I can make that bigger, but
it was like upcoming or
so I have the upcoming stuff. So what I'm doing is, because the Meetup API only lets you call make so many calls or what have you, because we have a lot of different groups here in Orlando, as you can see. So I'm pulling the event information from all these groups, and Meetup was like, well, you need to slow down. So I was like, all right. So I have a cron job that's happening through Firebase.
Okay.
And so I'm using like Cloud Functions or what have you, which is kind of like a node server. And so with that, I'm making a call, so I take a group of the groups of the meetup organizations, and I make a call to get their latest information. And then I move, like the next 3 hours, I move on to a next set and make the call. So that happens throughout the day.
Right.
And then I'm using like Leaflet for like the maps, which we'll see.
I actually did that when I was in boot camp. One of the projects I was building was using Leaflet. So
yeah, Leaflet is awesome because I made a project, like my final coding boot camp project was called Get Out, but Orlando Walking Tours. Again, I'm big on like puns and stuff. And plus, I think the movie was like a big thing also. So it's funny. So Orlando Walking Tours. And so I used to go to the Code for Orlando meetups. And so they're like a civics group where, they try to do things for the city and try to help out, using data and things.
Right.
So they wanted to create something where they had all this data on the historical spots. And you know what, while we're here, hold on. Again, I make random things. So
yours is still alive. The one I created for my final project, I think I took down almost immediately.
Oh, like I just keep these random stuff up, like if they still work. But the problem is, so what you could do is you can log in or what have you using whatever, and then you can take a tour that someone else created or what have you. So let's say this one. And so what you can do is, sure. Like, so these are things that people created. Well, I don't know if I want you to know my location. Neither here nor there. All right. So, so you can start the tour. So that's the whole reason. Yeah, I started getting this with my Google Maps. I have no clue why. Like, I did nothing to it. And so it jacked up my whole thing. But what you could do is you'd be able to see the different historical spots, and it would show you like a walking tour on how to get to the next place, kind of stuff. But it messed it all up. But neither here nor. Okay, that's fine. Okay, my bad. Tangents. All right. And we were talking about like, will we have enough time to fill up stuff? You know what I mean? Like we have.
Oh, so Dipto thinks it's rate limiting. So the API key is needed.
Yeah, but I've no way used this. Like it's been years, like 4 years. So I don't understand why. Like that's fine. But that's why I use Leaflet now. Because it's just yeah.
Our UI is really similar for our final projects. I built like a diabetes tracker because I come from like a health and nutrition background, and so I thought that would be really cool to do. So we use like same color, same component, same styling. It looks like.
Oh yeah, I think that's just like material or something I used or something back in the day.
No, we didn't let us use that in boot camp. They're like, you gotta, write all this CSS on your own. So.
Well, I mean, it's good practice, I guess, or what have you. So, but yeah, we did that like, I did that by myself, like, and so I had like a week to get that all put together. So it was
very short timelines. I remember.
Yeah. And
I've written a blog on using Leaflet for login radius. That's really cool. So do definitely.
Oh, nice.
We'll check it out.
So like we're just here. Like that's nice. All right. So pulling all the stuff from Meetup. So and so
I love that you added that in. Like every time you switch a tab, I get like really excited to see that transition.
Well, yeah, like sometimes it works. It's it's just some CSS. And so here's some upcoming meetups and things happening. And so I'm pulling from Meetup, and I'm saving it to a Firebase Firestore database, what have you. And so I'm just saving all the different information. And so let's say if you wanted to find out more about this one, the site before would take you directly to Meetup to see more information, but this new version, I created these pages. And then this is what I wanted to use Sapper for, because now each event has like its own page. So you're able to take this URL and put it anywhere else and save. Because like with single page apps, a lot of times, you don't really get pages that you can just go and it's always kind of like it goes back to the home page. So but for this new version, I wanted to do that. And so then you can still go to the event Meetup page here. And this gives you the details that are pulled from Meetup and everything. Cool. Now, so then the archive.
Yeah, where does the video come in?
Yeah. So, all right. So this is an old one from before. And so this is an old, and this is like one of my demos, like Vonage Versus, where you can like text or call and vote for pirates or ninjas. I don't know if anybody wants to see that. So there's that. All right. So this is the video from the Meetup. And so what I would do is I would be at the Meetup with my cameras and everything, and I would have these scenes. So to kind of say like, hey, we're starting soon and all this stuff. And then here's the actual Meetup happening. Some more information about what's happening in the scene. Then we would go to actually showing the presenter that's happening. And so this would be like the whole thing here. And then there's different scenes like, where is it? So this was like a whole lot of mess to do because I was using like a third-party service in order to stream my stuff too. And then it was like an online OBS, open broadcast software, to be able to switch screens and add in things. And so I was like, well, with the Vonage APIs, I think I could do a lot of that just using our stuff. So I went to try and create that. So, but again, here's the details. And here's where Leaflet comes in. Here's a map that shows where the place is at. So I was thinking, all right, I think I could recreate what I was doing so that an organizer would be able to like log into a dashboard and then be able to kind of create their own stream without me having to be there. And so especially now, since we haven't had any meetups in a long time, I was like, maybe I should start doing something. And so I created, so here's the dashboard. You log in using, so I get the emails from the event organizers, so then I can assign them their meetup. So it goes by their emails. And so you log in with your email. It will send a link to log in. So I didn't want to deal with passwords or anything. So you just click a link in your email that you gave me, in order to be able to see this. And there probably won't be an admin because with the admin, you can like add groups and all this stuff and my YouTube keys and all that stuff. All right, cool. So there's like past broadcasts. So you can kind of see the different ones if you wanted to see them or what, and it gives you a link to them if you just need like a quick reference or what have you.
Nice, yeah.
And and this one had multiple because sometimes my my streaming setup back then would like crash and I'd have to do multiples. It was horrible, but now it should be a lot easier. So let's say we have some upcoming events, and so I assigned myself to a bunch of them, and I created this fake one called Hip Hop and Code, which is a thing I like to maybe start in the future. But so this is just a test one, right? So, bam. So it wants to be able to have access to my mic and everything. So now here's that same. So this is kind of like your workstation. This is where you see everything happening.
Right.
And then we have this chat, so you can start see the chat. So it's logging in and everything. And then we're able to set a password for the guest. So I'm going to just make up something now, submit it. And then you slide over to the next section. I'm still working all this out because I'm not sure how I want things laid out. But so here's a link for the guests. So I just set the password. And so I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to put it in our chat so that you could join. And so there's that. And here's the password. So now you can go ahead, go to your section and start doing that stuff. And so, yeah, as you can see here, here's a chat. Here's I have a question section. So if you have a question, because a lot of times I didn't want the question to be mixed in with the chat. I want to have its own separate place so you can reference. And so there's that. And you're able to enter in hello. And so there. And if you want to ask a question, got a question. A question? I don't know. And then, yeah, so it adds it there. Cool. So I just sent that to Nahrin. Now, here is where I get to add my stuff. So I'm not going to add any audio because feedback. I'm not sure how it's going to work. So I'm able to choose different video stuff. So let's go with this one here. And now we're going to publish it. Cool. And so that's being sent out, like kind of like how we did before. Right. And now here's a new thing. You're able to screen share, which is pretty cool. And so I'm going to, I guess, make sure. I don't know what I'm going to screen share. Does it? I don't. Whatever. So I'm going to screen share that, and you get like a nice little preview of what you're sharing. Then move over. Now, did you get a chance to join that yet, Nahrin? Or
I did.
Oh, are you sending any camera or anything yet? Because once you set up, then these will become not disabled. Yeah, enabled. Sure. And so here we go. So I have these things here. Oh, yeah. So you can see, start adding. So he has a camera and stuff. So, all right. So this is like my mini OBS kind of, I guess. So I'm using a canvas. So the canvas is being sent as a publisher to open to the Vonage Video API. So that's its own source. And then we also have the screen and stuff. So, all right. I need to do, we'll fake it. All right. Cool. Again, so, all right. So as you can see here, so I'm able to bring in, Nahrin, full screen. We're able to do both host and guest. We're able to also, by myself. Oh, wait, what the? Oh, it's using, I don't know what's happening. And then the screen share. And so you can see it still has like the same name information in this view. So, and we also have the different like starting soon, taking a break, event finished. Great. Now what's cool is you can see here we have this stream thing. So it's using the broadcast capabilities of our video API. So let's say I want to start the stream. Great. So what's cool is with that, it creates a HLS stream that I'm going to be using. So I'm also streaming. This is amazing as well, too. When you do the broadcast, you can also put in like your API key and stream key for like YouTube or Twitch and also send your video there. which is pretty amazing. And so what I'm doing is, oh, I'm sorry, what did you say?
No, that's just incredible. That's super, super helpful, and something we all would want at an event, right? Like,
yep. And so, because I'm using YouTube as kind of like a place to, as an archive.
Right.
And so what's going to happen is, and I'm not sure because I don't know if it's sometimes the YouTube API picks it up, sometimes it doesn't. It's weird. So I have a link to the channel so that the organizer can make sure it's streaming to YouTube, and then copy and paste the video link there so that that's automatically put in, like how you saw for the archive events, it had the video there. So it just does it automatically. So I don't have to do anything to put it there.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm just going to put some random thing because, you know, I don't.
This is huge. Like, this is quite the undertaking. This is so impressive that you're able to build, and it's like a side project for you. Like, I feel like this would be.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you're super. Yeah, like because I really like
something.
Passionate. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so I really wanted, and plus I miss meetups, and so I wanted to try to do my part and be able to make this work out. All right, so now as you can see, now it says it started. All right, so now technically I should be able to go back to the home page. And so bam, live now, the test event. So click that. And hopefully it should be able to, oh, sometimes you may have to click play. It's this weird thing with autoplay videos in whatchamacallit, it doesn't like it. And it's probably because my internet is pretty bad. Hold on, why is it not picking up? Okay. Oh, there it is. I guess it was just slow. All right. So now, all right, cool. So now, again, my internet's horrible. That's why it looks pixelated. Anybody with actual decent internet, that would show up better. All right. So now we have that going. And now let's say we're about to get started. And I'm like, hey, welcome everybody to the chat room, to the event, blah, 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 what you call it. Hey, these are the things happening in town, blah, 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 whatever, things of that nature. You want to see it larger, great. Then go back to here. Then we have our guests here. And now, technically, oh, it's behind.
Right now, we'll be like, if this was live, we'd be able to see that too. So we'd have
well, it's coming up now. So yeah, so there's a latency of like 20 seconds, I think.
Okay.
And so that's where we're at now. Cool. And then you'd be able to join the chat room, Dwane chat. And then that's logging in. And so then, so then I can just have Nahrin on. You do your presentation stuff. If you're sharing your screen, be able to do that. And then let me see, make sure that's coming up. Do like 20 seconds. Bam, there you go. Cool. So then we'll say, hey, we're taking a break. Cool, we can take a break and stuff. And you're also able to mute because your audio is still going to go through. So you have the option of being able to kind of mute yourself and your guest and then unmute them when they come back. Yeah. And then there's that. And then see you next time. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, so if you had any questions and stuff. So yeah, so that's what I made. And so we'll hopefully be starting to use it coming up soon. So I've been talking to some meetup organizers. So then you hit stop and it's doing a whole bunch of stuff in the background and it's stopping it. And it will say stop at some point. And so then it will turn it into like an archive and it will show up if you go back. So it's no longer showing here, but in the archives, it's there. And if I actually put the YouTube video, so I think this is like an old, so I just put in random things. So of course it's not going to actually work, but if we actually put in the YouTube video, it'd show up there.
Of course, yeah.
And yeah, so that's that.
This is incredible. This is like an actual product, and it's so helpful. I feel like a ton of meetup organizers would love this because you've got everything, and it's so well thought out. It's so custom to the organizer experience and what exactly they need. Like I see this like blowing up. Like this is wonderful, and it just really shows you how far you can extend like the video API and what you can build with it, because this is really
it's pretty amazing. Yeah, so I was like, I think we could do that with our video APIs. And yeah, so it's using the broadcast, and with the broadcast, you can set up all the different. And you can also archive with our things too, with our video API. So if you didn't want to have to use YouTube, you'd be able to actually hold your own archives, which is cool. So
we
yeah,
so Archive Inspector actually as a part of the developer tools for the video API. So you know, you've actually hosted one of these events and something went wrong, there was some glitch. Like you can actually go back and figure out what went wrong using that Archive Inspector, and then just make sure it doesn't happen again, because you'll be able to debug it that way. So
nice. So I may have to actually do that. We'll see. So yeah, so maybe that'll be a next thing. But yeah, so we're going to I've been having some organizers kind of like test run it for me and kind of making sure things work and stuff. So we will probably maybe starting this up at some point. So
yeah, you're gonna have to let us know so we can all tune in for the first event.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, we'll see. See it all, But yeah, so that's what I do kind of like in my spare time, kind of see what we can do with our different APIs and stuff. So yeah, just make like random projects. Cause for me, that's like one of the best ways to learn, because I've never really used Sapper. I mean, I've used Sapper before for stuff. Because again, well, here's my website, because I have all this random stuff here. So lifelong.dev. And so like right here, this currently at home thing, that's another web component that I created. And so if I'm ever at an event or whatever, like it would change there, and then it would have a link so you can kind of see. 'Cause I created this thing. We're almost out of time, so that's cool. But yeah, so but yeah, I created this website, and it's going to take a minute because it's on like serverless stuff, and it's my internet's horrible. But yeah, so again, I'm using like Leaflet in the background here, and so it's just all the different events I get to go to, and so I'll do like little story things, and
awesome. I love that.
My internet is bad right now, but yeah, so yeah, so I do like little 360 photos and videos and stuff, and yeah, so yeah, so just so it's kind of like a little.
I feel really, really inspired on getting like actual some side projects going, because I feel like once you start developing as a full-time job, like you either are able to continue and keep building after hours, or sometimes you're not able to, like based on what else you've got going on. But I feel inspired to take something on this weekend, maybe actually finish up that Unity game that I've been working on, that I started on ages ago.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be awesome. Yeah, go ahead and do that. And there's like not any pressure. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna just do it. Just just gonna, because there's no, it's not like for a job or anything. It's just
there's no pressure when it's for fun and when it's for your own learning, right?
Yeah, like, and you can take your time and everything, and make sure you kind of like understand stuff and things. So yeah, that's why I see it. So it's like a no pressure thing for me. And so yeah, I make random things. So like this Kanye West thing or whatever. Oh yeah, my computer is super slow. So yeah, these are just random projects I've created. And then
love it.
Shows you like how it is on mobile and stuff. If my internet wasn't trash, but yeah, so I mean, just because my resume as like a developer is horrible, because I never really did this before, like when I started. So being able to show where you're at, and then letting them decide, like, yeah, we'll bring you on, kind of thing. So my portfolio has saved me a lot. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of being able to show what you know. I mean, you can say it, but if you can show it, I think it's a lot better. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm ranting. So yeah, we're pretty much out of time.
Not at all. No, that was so amazing. Thanks so much for sharing all those examples with us, those demos, and really showing all of our viewers how you can like leverage this video API and all the cool things that you can build with it. As we've seen, like you can games, like meetup platforms, like all sorts of things. And we actually do have a whole host of other use cases on the video API documentation. So definitely check those out if you're interested in learning what else you can build with it. Just a really, really versatile and really amazing platform this day and age. Like video is just so key, I think, in so many things, or it can become key. So thank you all. That concludes our stream today. Hopefully you're able to learn something from all this. Hopefully we've inspired you to build something with the video API. And again, if you do, please do share it with us on Twitter or on our community Slack channel. We'd absolutely love to see what it is you're building, and promote it too. And we hope to see you back on Twitch tomorrow for Lauren Learns Things at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. That's a new time for that stream. And also for the next episode of Developer Drop-In on November 25th with Lorna. But for now, thanks so much for spending a little bit of your day with us. And thank you, Dwane, for streaming with me today. It's been so fun.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And bye, everyone. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
See you, everybody.